Good morning. We're in Exodus 25, verse 23, but we'll start at 22. It says, "And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubims, which are upon the ark of the testimony of all things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel." Okay. Yesterday I had said that the mercy seat was almost like a seat where someone could get up on. I want to take that back. It couldn't be. I don't think that's what it's actually for. Um, I knew that wasn't what it was actually for, but when you say seat, it sounds like seat. So let me just retract that statement or that line of thinking that said that this was a mercy seat. Um, it's actually God that goes up there or something. It's weird, but forgive me, Lord, but it's something. So let's just leave that how it is, the mercy seat. And I've been researching this mercy seat. So the top was pure gold, and that's where the mercy seat is, where the two cherubims, and that's where God would reside. And you know, in the holy of holies, that's where the ark was. There was no light in there. So the only light in there was the light coming from God Himself. That's where, like in the tabernacle, the tent, you would go in, or the high priest would go in. But I'm pretty sure only the high priest was allowed into the back, which was the holy of holies, and there was no light source back there. Okay, but that's where. Whereas in the first part of the tent, there was you had the. I don't want to say the candelabra. That's not the good word, but it was the. I'm trying to remember the word for it, but it was you had the candle thing, which had 7 lampstands on it, 7 pieces for candles on it. I forgot the name. Sorry, but I don't want to take this stuff in vain. But you had the bread there. You had the incense, the altar of incense. You had the name is escaping me, but it was the candle. You had all these things, not to mention this stuff out front. But once you got into the holy of holies in the back, which only the high priest could go into, but in the first holy place where all the bread was, there was other priests allowed to go in, if I'm not mistaken. But once you got back there, and I bring this up because once you get to the back, the only thing that was back there behind the veil was was the high priest was allowed back there, and the only light back there was God in this mercy seat, on the mercy seat, hovering between the two cherubims, and that was the glory of the Shekinah glory. Um, so it's very interesting how you say, okay, well, that's the mercy seat. Why is God on there? He doesn't, it's a lot of stuff going on here. But I guarantee you that this stuff is where we have our religion today. It's this stuff is why people believe in God. This is why we have stuff. This is why we believe in God. This is your bread and butter. This is your meat on the bone. This is your solid food. Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. This stuff, the tabernacle, the tent, the mercy seat, the holy, the first room of the holy, entering into, when you really start studying this stuff, this is where religion and God meets the world. This is where it all starts. When do you hear people talking about this stuff? You don't. Because devil is in the world, and this is not what the devil wants you to hear. Period. Devil does not want you to hear this stuff. Okay. So let me read on for a minute, but yeah, this is the absolute, undeniable proof of God. I love to hear some of the stuff people will say. Oh, well, I never looked into that. Oh, well, I'm too country for that. Oh, well, we just know about Jesus. Oh, where do you think Jesus comes from? Where do you think Jesus comes from? Jesus is written all over this stuff. All over the stuff is the image of Jesus. All over it. All over it. Okay, I'll read on for a minute, but I'm just... Okay, now we have here, it says... And 23, thou shalt also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be a length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. Now I think they're talking about the table of bread, showbread. Now the shittim wood, just like I said, Christ is all over this. The crown of thorns that he had on his head was most likely from shittim wood. Okay? All over this is Christ. All over this. You know, when Christ raised from the dead, guess what? Aaron's staff budded and sprouted ripe almonds from a dead branch. Period. And almonds means, well, first of all, an almond is the first tree to bloom in the world. An almond tree will bloom in winter. It's the first tree to bloom, and it means life, and it means first. And God raised from the dead and resurrected the Christ, and Aaron's staff budded ripe almonds and flowers. And it was inside the Ark of the Covenant. Christ is all over the stuff. I'm just throwing some stuff out there. It's endless. It's endless, the stuff you'll find here. Okay, so Christ had shittim wood thorns on his head. Don't quote me, but there's no other thorny branches out there. And the thorns resembled the curse, because the thorns didn't come in until Genesis, when they cursed, when they sinned. And then he said, well, let the thorns, now you'll have thorns and thistles. Okay? Now, it's endless. It's endless. Okay. But just so y'all know, Aaron's staff that budded, what he did was he said, okay, I'm going to show y'all who's going to be my priesthood. Have all the tribes bring a stick and throw it in. A staff. Have all the tribes come in and throw your sticks in. And the one that buds is going to be the priest. That's what God told them to do. And guess what? He did. And it was Aaron's staff. Aaron's staff that budded for the Levites. They were going to be the priesthood. Okay? They were going to be the priesthood. That's how Aaron's staff budded, and that's a big sign for them. And that's why it's in the Ark of the Covenant. You got the manna in there. You got the Aaron's staff that budded, ripe almonds. I got news for y'all. Walking sticks do not sprout flowers and fruit, but they did, because that's what God foreordained. He said that this is what's going to happen, and that's how y'all are going to know who I choose to be my tribe. I'm sure they marked the sticks. They know which one was who. They know whose stick was whose, but they all went in and did that. I don't remember the exact details of the story. We're coming up on it. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So, I'm just throwing some stuff out there that and also when the tribes were laid out, because they were all encamped around the cross. I mean, they were encamped around the tabernacle. And if you look at it from an aerial perspective, looking down, like from a satellite or a balloon or airplane, it looks like a cross. You have the tabernacle at the center, up by the upper torso of the cross, where the boards meet. And if you look at the tribes laid out, they look like a cross. Just so you know, they were encamped in order around the tabernacle, where you had two arms, one up top. I imagine those were the Levites. I don't know. But you had 12 tribes of Israel encamped around this thing, the tabernacle, forgive me, Lord, and it looks like a cross, period. Oh, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So resurrection happened with the staff, with the buds on the what's different? A dead man rising from the dead, or a dead branch sprouting ripe fruit? There is no difference. They're both life coming from death. There's no difference. Of course, one is the Christ, but it just symbolizes that coming down. And what's inside the ark? Aaron's budded staff. The manna is in the ark. Okay? What does the manna symbolize? And even Christ said it in his words. He said, I'm the true manna, I'm the true bread, I'm the true life. Okay? It's all right there. Everything parallels. Beautiful. You got the shittim wood. Christ had shittim wood thorns on his head. Okay? It's all there. And it's deeper and deeper and deeper. And you can sit here and have classes and classes, and there's books about this stuff, just about the tabernacle and the symbolism. There's been volumes written about this stuff, about all the parallels that went into. But of course, you're going to have your opposing parties. Okay. We are in official slowdown mode. Let's see. So we got the table. Okay. 24. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. Gold. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt make, and thou shalt overlay it with pure gold. Pure gold. 25. And thou shalt make unto it a border of an handbreadth round about. And thou shalt make thou shalt make a golden crown to the border thereof round about. And thou shalt make for it 4 rings of pure gold. And put the rings in the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border shall the rings be for places of the staves to bear the table. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, and spoons thereof, and covers thereof, and bowls thereof, to cover withal. Of pure gold shalt thou make them. And thou shalt set, verse 30, upon the table shewbread before me always. So God is a homemaker, you know. And I mean, I don't want to take this the wrong way, but God likes to see nice things on the table. And it's way deeper than that. But I just want to point out God is a family man. You know, he wants incense burning, he wants everything clean. He wants to see food on the table at all times. Just, just basic stuff that anybody would want. But it's way deeper than that. These symbolize the 12 tribes of Israel, the bread. But yeah. And I'm about to cut this off early today because I'm late for a job. And I don't mind. I have to shorten down the videos anyway because it was getting a little. I mean, I like doing long ones, but Can you imagine all the work that went into overlaying this wood with pure gold and making the dishes of pure gold and stuff like that? I mean, can you imagine the magnificence and the opulence of this stuff? And when you go into this stuff, forgive me, Lord, for saying this stuff, but when you go into it, it's like, if you have any sense in the world at all, other than whatever country sense you have to say, this is surely God. You have to say, this is surely God. For one, nothing else makes sense. Number two, he designed it. Number three, there's just no other reason. Period. There's just no other reason. Now, I'm done for the day. I have to go to work. But let's see where we stopped at. I'm in slowdown mode. I don't care. I'm going to start giving this stuff more attention that it deserves. Oh. Oh. And let me add one more thing. That a lot of the stuff that they had, had to be beaten work. They had to beat the gold into submission. And that's also, somebody pointed out, that's the image of Christ too, because Christ was beaten. Of beaten work. So it couldn't be like poured or casted. No, it had to be beaten work. That was the instruction. Beaten work. Because they could cast stuff, they could do stuff like that, make a mold and cast it. No, they had to beat this out. A lot of the stuff. And that was instructed. Instead of making molds and pouring it, no, beat this stuff. That's how he wanted it. Now, I'm just pointing that out, that Christ was beaten work too. Okay? This is not something you want to be on the wrong end of. And I only say that because another pastor was making that parallel of the beaten work. So we're done for the day. Have a good day. We're on YouTube at Preach Facts. We're on TikTok at Preach Facts 7.